Hi everyone, I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please share my videos. Well, here's the latest in the banking industry, and actually all banks here in the U.S. are probably deeply in trouble because of their investment in treasury notes and stocks that have gone underwater because of the rise in interest rates. I think it's all on purpose. UBS is going to take over Credit Suisse, the Swiss National Bank said on Sunday. Swiss regulators are planning an emergency meeting to change regulations so it can avoid a stockholder vote on the deal. It was announced late Sunday afternoon, March 19th, 2023, that UBS will take over Credit Suisse, and Credit Suisse later said the deal would value the bank at around 3.25 billion US dollars or 3 billion francs. The Swiss National Bank said in a statement that the takeover was made possible by support of the Swiss federal government and the Swiss Financial Market Supervisory Authority, FNMA. The all-share deal will almost entirely wipe out Credit Suisse investors, with the $2 billion price tag significantly less than Credit Suisse market capitalization on Friday, and a fraction of what Credit Suisse has been valued at the turn of the year. Its two biggest shareholders are the Saudi National Bank and the Qatar Investment Authority, which has a combined stake of 17%. Chairman Amar Al-Qadiri of Saudi National Bank described the latest market turmoil following Credit Suisse stock plunge as a little bit of a panic. He said back then that the recent fallout from the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank was different than from the 2008 financial crisis. Yes, it is, because back then it was a bubble where basically anyone that was breathing could buy a home. Now their credit is falling because of the interest rates are making treasury notes worth a lot less money than when they were purchased. He said that the Saudi National Bank's amount of stock that they had there in Credit Suisse and the recent turmoil was unwarranted to worry about. He also said back then about the threat of Credit Suisse falling that its panic was a little bit of a panic, and he believed completely unwarranted, whether it be for Credit Suisse or the entire market. Credit Suisse had announced that it was borrowing 50 billion in Swiss francs, or 53.68 billion US dollars. The lender's share plunged Wednesday after a report that the Saudi bank said it couldn't provide Credit Suisse with any further financial assistance. So is the government, U.S. government, or some foreign government going to start bailing out these banks? He said back on March 16th that the recent fallout from the collapse of the Silicon Bank was different from 2008 financial crisis because the U.S. had taken steps to protect depositors and protected it from further fear of contagion. In a press conference to announce the deal, the Swiss president said that deposit outflows on Friday made it clear that a stabilization of Credit Suisse was required. As part of the deal, the Swiss government is giving UBS a guarantee of 9 billion francs to assume potential losses rising from certain assets. In my opinion, the only reason they're doing this is so that the Swiss franc doesn't collapse. Back in 2020, the Swiss National Bank had suffered its worst quarterly loss since its foundation in 1907. After the impact of the coronavirus pandemic on global markets, why 38.2 francs or 39 US billion dollars of value from its reserves in the first 3 months of that year, 2020. What they did back then was to abruptly remove the franc's limit against the euro, and that sent convulsions through the foreign exchange markets. Also back then, losses were mitigated by its huge gold pile of more than 1,000 tons, which rose in value as market panic drove up the price of precious metals, gold, silver, things like that. U.S. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said they welcomed the announcement by the Swiss authorities to support financial stability. The capital and liquidity positions of the U.S. banking system are strong, and the U.S. financial system is resilient, they said in a statement, adding that they have been in close contact with international counterparts. We're heading for a global collapse. The deal includes 100 billion Swiss francs, or $108 billion, in liquidity assistance for UBS and Credit Suisse from the Swiss Central Bank. The European Central Bank said on Sunday a Swiss rescue of Credit Suisse was instrumental for restoring calm on financial markets, but it remains ready to support Eurozone banks with loans as needed. Well, right there's the statement that you should be taking note of. The European Central Bank is ready to support Eurozone banks with loans if needed. Yeah, all it's going to do is create more inflation. A day's wages for a loaf of bread, does that sound familiar? And they're just going to print more money, creating that inflation. The Bank of England welcomed moves by the Swiss authorities to support financial stability after UBS agreed to purchase Credit Suisse on Sunday. And it said the UK banking system was well capitalized and funded and remains safe and sound, the Bank of England said in a statement. So you might find this interesting, talking about, as I have talked about and other people have talked about, the coming digital currency. Back in January of last year, 2022, UBS acquired Weatherfront to deliver digital wealth management, offering to Millennial and Generation Z affluent investors. Weatherfront's capabilities will become the foundation of its new digital offering, which will also include access to remote human advice. Ralph Hammers is currently the CEO for UBS. UBS manages the largest amount of private wealth in the world, counting approximately half of the world's billionaires among its clients. The bank also maintains numerous underground bank vaults, bunkers, and storage facilities for gold bars around the Swiss Alps and internationally. In late 2016, UBS established a blockchain technology research lab in London to advance its cybersecurity and encryption of client activity. This here is about UBS and its participant in the centralized digital banking, whatever you want to call it, CBDC. Central bank digital currency represent a wider application of distributed ledger technology, DLTs, and are an important component in the journey towards full digitalization and dematerialization of assets and cash. Remember the saying that's been going around? You will own nothing and be happy. Dematerialization of assets and cash, right there in this document, which I will give a link to you down below in more information. In economic terms, a CBDC would be part of the country's fiat currency system. It is a liability of the central bank, which is either directly accessible, just as notes and coins are, or directly accessible, just as a bank reserve are via the banking system. Regardless of the access model, Key differences between CBDCs, Viva existing fiat currency, are that they can be, one, held digitally, such as in an electronic wallet, recorded on scrutinized, closely watched record-keeping platform, such as DLTs, programmed and executed automatically using small contracts, Viva relying on paper-based manual processes. Over the past few years, there has been an increase in CBDC use cases globally. We know how they're doing that in China. Yeah, they regulate where you can go. They keep watch on what you buy, tell you if you can get a train ticket or not, cross to another town or not, take a bus or a taxi or not. It talks about trial runs, I guess you can say. They're in Hong Kong. And then GBA was established in 2017 in the State Council of the Republic of China. Anyways, this might be the excuse that they need. Yeah, the dynamos are falling. So what are your thoughts? Put your comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Please stay safe. Always be prepared for a disaster. And I think we might have a big one coming. I hope not. But be prepared just in case. And I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.